Good day, everyone. Before we begin our interview, we would like to take a moment to introduce ourselves. We are Group 2, and today we will be leading this interview as part of our application for the engineering management. Our group has selected the topic of managing conflict, as we believe the effective conflict resolution is a critical skill in engineering leadership. Through this interview, we hope to gain insight that will enhance your understanding and allow us to apply this principle in real-world scenario. So, first things first, could you please introduce yourself and tell us about your role and position at your organization or work?
Hi, I am Michael Uypala. People call me Mix. I am one of the conveners of iSpace. iSpace is located in Lupang Arenda, Taytay Rizal, and what we do there is we convene different youth leaders and we propose different activities for them to hone their skills and leadership.
Hi, I'm Mark Joshua Marcelino. I am a president of ARMS in Pasig. It's a school-based organizations na pinapatakbo din kasama ang mga ka-organization ko.
How do you tell the difference between work-related conflicts and personal conflicts among your team? Can you share an example?
Um, when it comes to conflicts, masasabi natin na very inevitable siya sa organization. But the difference is when we say work-related conflicts, ito yung mga conflict na nakaka-apekto hindi lang siya sa isang individual, but it affects also the works, the task of a certain person and kung paano sila kumikilos sa loob ng organizations. However, when we say personal conflict, ito naman yung parang deeply rooted siya sa kung ano yung meron yung isang tao. I think yung example nito when I was working in Lupang Arenda, isa siya sa lugar na pinaka-sulok-sulukan ng Lupang Arenda is we had event na kung saan nagbigay kami ng opportunity sa mga bata na magbasa, na makapag-learn about writings and reading. And yung personal conflict that time na experience ko is I have family problem. And doon sa family problem na yun, since it is deeply rooted to me, yung principles na bitbit ko that time is medyo shaky. Parang hindi siya naging reason din siya kaya nagkaroon ng gap in making conversations with children. And may tinatawag din kasing hybrid. So, hindi lang ako yung naapektuhan that time. So, yung personal problem ko, parang nag-reflect din siya dun sa ka-organizations ko. So, parang naging 50-50. Yung half is naging work-related since yung task na dapat bit-bit ko ay naka-epekto din sa task na meron yung organizations. I mean, yung ibang ka-organizations ko. And then, yun, yung personal problem na bit-bit ko that time.
I agree with Mix doon sa kapag nakakaroon tayo ng conflicts inside organizations or tinatawag nating work conflict is nalilesen yung ating performance inside the organization and hindi na-achieve yung goal natin. And when it comes to the personal conflicts, ito yung mga feelings na na-involve natin, yung mga values na dapat sineset aside natin sa isang organization. So, the best example dito is when Mix and I is nagkaroon ng design. So, hindi kami nag-ugma or hindi kami nagtugma yung mga gusto namin sa mangyayari. So, yung conflict doon sa work-related is hindi magkaayos yung group namin. So, hindi ganoon well-published, hindi ganoon kaayos yung mga design na magagawa namin. And on sa personal conflicts is hindi maaayos yung aming personal growth.
How do you notice when a conflict might be starting in your team? What will you do if you foresee the sign?
I would say yung una kong nato-notice kapag may conflict na inside the organization is, of course, yung body language ng isang individual, kung paano siya makisalamu at kumilos kapag may operation kami. Ako, ang example ko doon is me, parang whenever I had conflicts with the other members, other conveners of iSpace, parang hindi ko feel to interact with them. And ayun yung parang na-notice din ng iba na interacting with them parang may gap na. And also, I would say the way people speak from their other members, parang nagkakaroon na ng hindi maayos na conversations doon sa dalawang tao o sa organization mismo. And ayun din yung siguro yung parang ma-advise ko kapag natapos na yung isang event or after the operation, siguro mas maganda na nagkakaroon talaga ng debriefing. Kasi kapag may debriefing, parang doon natin ma-assess kung ano ba yung pwede nating i-improve nung ginawa natin yung event na to, ano yung mga nag-lock, ano yung mga hindi natin nagampanan ng maayos na pwede pa nating i-elevate. And isa din sa natutunan ko is kung ano man yung mga mistake na nagawa natin during the event or the operation, hindi na dapat natin to binibitbit. Instead, yung mga yung excess baggage na yun, yung burden na yun is parang binibitawan na natin for us to move forward. Yan lang.
Sa akin, makikita ko yung mga first signs kapag, let's say, merong discussions or meeting. So, doon pa lang mapapansin mo kapag once na nagdi-disagree ang isang parties over the other parties, kapag nagkakaroon na sila ng ganon, is dapat kausapin na sila or dapat during that time. Kasi sa amin, sa organization namin, hindi namin pinapalagpas agad yung, let's say, patapusin. It depends sa ibang approach, but sa amin, yung approach namin, while we have that kind of discussions, tapos parang nagkaroon ng initan, is ina-address agad namin. So, dapat pa ba siyang ituloy? Kasi once na nagtuloy-tuloy yun, so baka magkasigawan na. So, hindi na maganda yung ganong usapin. So, dapat by that scenario pa lang na kakat agad yung ganoong conflict.
Yeah, I would like to add. Gusto ko lang sugsugan. I would like to add on that statement then. Tama naman na we want to avoid the disagreement between two parties. But we should also understand na importante din yung sense of dynamism. When we say sense of dynamism is parang since ang org ko naman is community-based and what we do is we have mobilizations, we do campaigning, and parang in a sense of dynamism, nagkakaroon ng mas innovative na approach sa kung ano ba yung hinahanap ng lugar na pinupuntahan namin. And disagreement, yeah, we should avoid the conflicts between two persons, but we should also know that important of disagreement is very vital din sa loob ng organization. Kasi kung iisa na lang ang sinasabi ng isang grupo, kung pare-parehas na lang sila ng parang agree lang na sila ng agree sa mga ideas na lumalabas sa atin, parang hindi na magkakaroon ng maayos na outcome. So it is important na andun pa rin yung sense na nagdi-disagree tayo because we know na magka-come up din tayo sa sa mas effective na ideas, mas efficient sa mga tao.
What is your usual way to handle conflicts in your team? Can you give me an example of a time this approach worked well?
Katulad na mention ko kanina, parang ang approach namin sa iSpace after the event or after the operation is nagkakaroon kami ng huddle or debriefing. And siguro very common na siya sa isang organizations to have debriefing after the event or after the operation. And ang sense kasi ng debriefing is, katulad na mention ko, is not to add fuel doon sa conflict na na-build during the operation, but also to let go all the hinanakit, all the katulad ng nasabi ko, baggage na nabitbit natin, na burden na build natin during the event. And isa din na approach na ginagawa namin is we have this personal approach, likewise to grassroots approach when it comes to building or making operations sa isang lokal na sektor. In personal, we want to make sure that there is safe space for everyone to be vocal, na nasasabi nila kung ano ba yung napansin nila during the event. And yeah, yun yung isa, I think, na pinaka-major na approach na ginagawa namin to resolve the issues or the conflict.
Yes, I agree with Mix also doon sa sinabi niya no na if having a meeting or the discussions right after is magde-debriefing or mag-assess if yung pinagmeetingan nyo ba is it was successful or kung may mga others matters pa is maa-arise agad doon pa lang sa during the discussions or kung may mga i-add pa ba kayo. And also kung other approach pa for me sa organizations namin is if ever one person or is this kind of matters na hindi na pagkakasunduan, if try to kausapin sila both ano yung hindi nila pagkakaunawaan, ano yung mga suliranin no bakit hindi sila ganoon nagkakaintindihan. And dapat ina-address natin ito kasi doon pa lang malaking impact na yon sa organizations if this two na magkaibigan or whatsoever na nagkaroon ng agreement or disagreement nila is hindi agad nare-resolve.
Have you handled conflicts that involve just one person versus conflicts between team members? How did you handle each?
Yeah, I had experience before na we tried to reach to specific officials in our locality in Taytay, and we have a political conflict, and I think it's personal na, hindi na siya political. And yung conflict na yun is not just about how we implement the proposed project, but kung ano na yung bit-bit na kulay that time. And we all know naman na everything is political. And in terms of political matters, very sensitive siya, very mabigat siyang usapin, lalo na kung naging personal na yung away ng dalawang tao. And I think ayun yung pinaka-common na na-experience din ng ibang organizations sa ibang community na magkaroon ng conflict to a certain individual who is part of the administration or the government. And I would say yung conflict na we as a whole is when we had this misunderstanding sa principles namin sa bilang isang individual. It is also important kasi na or it is vital na yung principles nyo, even though it's different, magkakaroon pa rin kayo ng way to find a common ground and to align those beliefs para makakilos, makausad. And yung conflict na yun sa team namin is parang hindi kami nagkaroon ng enough time to assess, to evaluate ourselves, to find their common grounds. And it does not affect only one person, but it affects the whole team. And ayan, kung naapektuhan na yung whole team, parang hindi na kayo makakilos as isang mukha, as isang organizations. Yeah, I think that is one of the examples that I had experienced when I was in iSpace.
Sometimes, conflicts happen when team members depend on each other's work. How do you handle conflicts caused by this?
Yeah, the question is actually correct doon sa part na when we're being dependable to someone who is part of the organization, it creates conflicts with the someone na nagiging dependable ka. And I would say, na-experience ko na din siya, like, people being dependable to you, parang mas nag-add siya ng pressure doon sa work, sa task na binigay sa'yo. And I think the best way for you to handle the situations is you should know how to be vocal then. You should know how to tumanggi din or magbigay ng or distribute the task na dapat ginagawa nila. Kasi if the other members is being dependable all the times, parang hindi mo na makikita yung sense ng role nila as part of the organizations. And sa amin kasi we don't want to make sure na or we don't want to feel them na they are obligated to do certain works, but we want to make sure na they are doing it because they want it, and it doesn't mean that they need to be dependable to a certain individual. Parang you just need to tell them na you're also working on your own, and working on your own needs a lot of focus. Ayun, so be vocal, know how to tell them how to work it, or instead na maging dependable sila, try to teach them dun sa mga certain task na binigay sa kanila, para at least hindi din sila masyadong ma-pressure sa ginagawa nila.
So ayan, thank you for sharing your experience and thank you sa time and effort. May mga natutunan kami sa inyo, madami. And we hope na sana yung organization nyo is mag-grow palalo. Thank you!